Please.
Okay.
Excellent.
So we are going to do like a podcast style interview, and
Right.
then we are going to have our audience watch that. So again, I wanted us to talk about, let's start with Bobi Wine.
Right.
I really admire your community a lot.
Thank you.
So I think it's important that we highlight maybe what I found in your community that is beneficial to my audience, and then to Africa and where we are going with Africa at this time
I
in
like
terms of
that.
leadership, institutions, and everything. So let's go ahead and get it started.
Right.
Okay. Uh, Today we are talking about leadership, institutions, and the new wind of change
Yes.
that is blowing across Africa. My guest today is Mr. William from Uganda.
Thank you.
We met in Boston at a Bobi Wine's event. Mr. William, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, my good friend, Mr. Roland. Like I said, I prefer calling you Roland. Just call me William.
Yes. So,
Yeah.
William, it is one thing to show up for Bobi Wine.
Right, right.
That is the leader we see.
Yes.
But when you look at the leader, it's not enough.
Yes.
We experience America because of the people we meet on a day-to-day base. Inside that hall, I spoke with a couple of people from Uganda. But after talking with you, I mean, it blew my mind. You're a very smart, articulate, and brilliant man. And that shows me the caliber of people in Uganda, and I could see that through you. So I want to ask you, what is your perspective of Bobi Wine and you being present in that hall to show your support? What is it that drives the people of Uganda to desire change in Africa at this moment?
Thank you very much, my good friend Roland. What drives the people of Uganda to desire change? A change desire. Sorry, I have to keep writing so I don't go off track. Change desire. Okay. Very good question. When answering this question, I have to relate it. I have to set a common page between Cameroon and Uganda before I came.
It's Southern Cameroons.
Huh?
Southern Cameroons.
Southern Cameroon. Okay.
Yeah.
But we have so many similarities based on on what I found on the internet, the basics. The number one thing which stands out is your young population. We have a young population of about 70% of the entire population. We are about over 45 million people, and you are about, I think, 30 million people, right?
Yes, approximately 30 million.
Yeah. And
That is
so,
within the Southern Cameroons and La Republic du Cameroon. Yes.
yeah, but a simple answer to your question, change desire, um, the governance is too old to bridge the gap between the old and the modern. The young people think in new ways. The old people think in old ways, and I don't mean one works better than the other. What I mean is, while the old age has wisdom, uh, conventional wisdom. The new age has modern wisdom. We need the conventional and the modern to find applications that work for both.
Powerful. One thing I admire is the approach of nonviolence
Yes, yes.
adopted by Bobi Wine.
Mm-hmm,
Can you
mm-hmm.
talk a little bit about that?
Bobi Wine is such an important character in the revolution, in the change, in the desire to change. Because I'm a musician. Personally, I do not sing, I play the piano. Bobi Wine has found a way of how to amplify his voice using music. And so I've been studying. One of the reasons why I admire him personally, he he has found the language for the masses, and this is one of the reasons why many people follow him. I'm gonna go out on a lame limb and tell you that even himself, he's surprised that these masses are following him. um but it is, for me, it is simple and clear that he's speaking the language of the young Africa.
One thing that I heard him say is
Mhm.
we have to stop killing each other as Africans.
Right, right. Uh-huh.
Uh, and that also connects with the aspect of the music you talked about.
Right. Uh-huh.
Now, you shared with me about the battle hymn.
Yes.
Can you
Yes.
talk a little bit on that?
Now, with any communication, let me make sure I pin this so I can always see you. I don't need to see myself. So with any communication, for instance, in the battle hymn, um, pertinent to our discussion, you see, the northern states, in my opinion, humble opinion, I haven't researched so much, but the way I understand the concept of the battle hymn, the northern states were kind of progressive, and of the United States. The southern states were lagging behind. These were the states which were holding people as slaves to make money. But the northern states had discovered a new way of how to make money. And coincidentally, it was the southern states which were considered to be more biblical, as in people who read the Bible. And yet they were holding people as slaves. Now, the northern states were not as biblical, but they had more light in their intellectual capacities, in their brain. And so the birth of the battle hymn was very simple. Okay, how do we find a common page of light? You know, you may have a common page, but if that page is in darkness, you won't be able to read anything on that page. So what the northern states, the composer of the battle hymn poem, the tune was already in place, but they had to find a poem which would light the page, the common page, so everybody could read that page. And once they read that page, they discovered that on that page there was one man in the Bible who died to save another man. And that became the cry for the armies to fight for the liberation, die for the liberation of another man.
Yeah.
And essentially that ended the war.
Wow. So it was the author's ability to show the people that this man, Christ,
Yes.
died to save another man. Because
Yes.
that's what you said that gave me goosebumps. I was
Yes.
filled with chills. Like,
Yes.
this is the man that died to save another life. So
Yes.
you can't hold someone in bondage. And that ended slavery and slave trade.
Yes, let me add to that, because that's where the gist of the matter is.
Yes.
It is one thing to read the Bible, okay,
Yes.
and discover that man on the cross. We all read. But as soon as we find a tune that carries the story of the man on the cross, put the words on in music. The music gets unfettered access into the brain. So now it becomes an issue of communication. But what type of communication? One-page communication.
Yes.
And there is no bigger weapon that can fight the enemy better than a one-page communication, but sung in music.
We are saying this because we've been at war for 9 to 10 years, Mr. William.
Mm-hmm.
We've lost more than 6,000 people.
Yes.
More than a million. More
Mm-hmm.
than a million people displaced.
Yes.
Over an unresolved issue or a union that was not properly or legally formed in 1961.
Oh, wow. I like that.
That is why this conversation is important. So, talking about communication, avoiding violence, using music to inspire people. And Bobi Wine exemplifies that. Now, there is something we talked about. Communication, which is what you just touched briefly.
Yes.
Which is, how do we get to the place where we all see the same thing?
Yes. I like that.
You're a very smart man, I can tell. You're a very smart man. Your thinking is out of this world. I don't know if many people in your community know that, but you're a very smart man.
By the grace of God.
Yeah. What intrigued me was what you said when you were doing your master's program. The assignment was to read a 600-page document.
Right.
And out of that 600-page document, they wanted you to summarize everything in one page, and it should be a picture so that everyone can be able to see the same thing. I want you to elaborate on that, because we are at that crossroads where people see different things in our community. We have amazing people, very brilliant and smart people. Now, how do we get to the place where we can all see the same thing? So I want you to just elaborate using that example. It was so powerful. Yeah.
Thank you very much for bringing that example, because as you bring that example, it creates enlightenment even in my brain. Like many of the countries in Africa, they of course they were colonized, and as such, they were introduced to what I call colonial education. Now, colonial education is like a photocopier. You get the original, you put in a photocopier, and you produce another copy. There's no thing such as critical thinking. So let's put it this way: we got 600 pages of colonial education, and the 600 pages colonized our mind. So how do we set our minds free from colonial education so that we can have some critical thinking? Let's get into the process of reducing those 600 pages into one page, and that page must be a picture. And if that picture can be set to a tune of music, the lights will go on in the brain to over 70% capacity of the brain. This is from research I've made.
And that is the brilliance that connects with the strategy used by Bobi Wine.
Exactly.
That he was able to condense complex issues into music. Move people.
And move people. And you see, with music, when you condense them in such a way that they have simplicity, specificity, and sensitivity.
I like that.
That is a 3-dimension approach, and you can't go wrong with that. In the brain, that you see, it is one thing to have 600 pages and keep making photocopies. It is completely another when you make a 3-dimension photocopy, which becomes a 3-dimension picture. What music does, it enables a 1-dimension picture to become a 3-dimension picture in the brain. So now you can examine the whole thing from a 3-dimension perspective of specificity, sensitivity, and simplicity.
Mr. William, can you expatiate on that? Expatiate on that 3 model. I think you had some brilliant examples. For instance, you talked about a Jeep, and you had a Jeep hat. I remember that. And
Yes.
I have a red Jeep. So when you talked about Jeep, I could get it. Can you expand a little bit on that 3 dimension?
First of all, the Jeep stands for me, Jeep stands for just enough engine power. And if you are the type of person who fell in love with Jesus, you can say, Jesus, enough engine power. This is one of the reasons why I drive a Jeep, because it inspires me. When I wake up, and right now I'm looking at it, I feel inspired. It's such a formidable car. Even during the snow weather, it can climb anything. Now, with the simplicity is all about, in communication, it is all about drawing a figure of speech. Like right now, how can I describe this book I'm holding? Okay, it is white and it has lines. Okay. Now, when you go out and tell another person what they ask, what was he holding? He was holding a book with lines, but there was nothing written on that. So that is what I call a figure of speech. A figure of thought is also similar to that. Something that keeps in their memory. But why was he holding a book and there was nothing written on it? Possibly there was something else written at the back. Now, that figure of thought helps us to develop critical thinking. So it is very, very important when we are drawing these figures to activate the ability to communicate with speech and the ability to think with critical thinking. Now, when it comes to sensitivity, I must be sensitive to the desires of the people around me. And this is something Bobi Wine has captured so well. The desire for freedom. And then he comes up with a tune like, we are fighting for freedom. The tune is Afro, it has that Afro beat, and it's motivational, and it is simple. Freedom. Who doesn't understand freedom? And so it is figure of speech, figure of thought, but each of those must have 3 dimensions: simplicity, sensitivity, and specificity.
Specificity. Oh,
Specificity, I forgot specificity. So that must not be a very big picture. It must be specific, that it is, like they say, long enough to cover the subject and short enough to arouse interest, like a mini skirt.
One thing, let's do some application and then we move to another subject. I think you're very passionate about that as well. Mr. William, let's apply that. Because I really wanted this to be a thinking session. You're the kind of person, and I think that works well with you. Now, in our context, a resolution was written after a plebiscite was conducted in our area in 1961. That is in the Southern Cameroons.
Yes.
So, because no legally binding instrument was adopted as to how these 2 groups of people will come together. So, there are no safeguards, no terms and conditions that we can point to today that, if we are not treated fair in this relationship, we agreed. So we don't have that. So everything has been based on speculation, on a draft constitution that was adopted as the foundation of that relationship. That is the burden of contention. Now, some people are going along with that draft constitution to say a union exists here. Others are saying, no, we are declaring our independence from this part of the nation. So there is tension. That is why the fight is going on. Now, based on your concept of simplicity, specificity, my goal is how to apply that so that everyone can be looking at the same picture.
Yes.
So if the requirement based on that resolution is 1608 paragraph 5 said we should have declared policies, agreement of the parties concerned. So if we don't have that, that means there is a void. Can we all see that picture? That is what I'm trying to do here. Like, you see what I'm saying? Can we all now agree that this is the problem? It's like 1 + 1 is equal to 2. You agree and I agree, and we can all see 2 and agree that this is 2. If someone says 1 + 1 is 3, we start thinking this person has an issue. And that is where I'm trying to get us to.
Yeah. Okay. You remind me of a story. I'm going to draw a picture. You remember what I said? Figure of thought, figure of speech?
Yes.
To answer your question, I'm going to use this as an example, okay? You see this paper?
Yes.
I've folded it so it can look like a telescope, okay? If I want to look at you, I look at you through this hole, and then it amplifies your frame, okay?
Yes.
Now, there was one boy who told his father that he was being bullied at school. And for some reason, I don't remember, the father bought that boy, the one who was being bullied, he bought him a telescope. And so when he went to school to watch sports, he saw the bully playing sports. And then what he did was not to hold the telescope like this. He held the telescope like this. And then the father told him, that's not how you hold the telescope. That the child told him, no, when I hold that telescope like this, that big boy who bullies me looks small. Now I can fight him.
My God.
So the application is, what lens are we using to look at these problems? Because before we even look at these problems, we must first define the culture lens we are using. Is it a culture lens of looking, let me do this, looking at the bully and expand the bully, or looking at the bully and make the bully look small? Because that is going to affect our psychology of how we approach the problem.
You're almost making me cry, Mr. William.
I'm sorry.
Because that is really how some of our people have been looking at that bully.
Let me tell you something about this. After that meeting, I've been trying to change people's mindset. That, look, this guy Bobi Wine, I don't know whether you watched some of his documentaries. He went through death, I don't know how many times, but he was given a Harvard opportunity to lay out his strategy to move us forward. But guess what he did? He was looking at the bully from the wrong side. Oh, he was hunting me. Nobody's hunting you in America. Why do you tell us the hunting stories? Stop the hunting stories. Change. Zero in. Give us a strategy to work with. He left Harvard with nothing. Opportunity lost. And that is how we've been losing opportunities.
Wow. I mean,
because we are all the time.
I don't know what people are doing with their time. Talent like yours should not be wasted in the continent of Africa. We need more people like you.
Amen.
I mean, this thinking is what we need now. And
absolutely,
that is when I was talking with you, I mean, I had chills. And it's just asking questions and listening. I know you were saying that I'm a brilliant man. I'm like, no, I'm just asking the questions. You are the smart one. And I was just soaking in everything. Now, some of our people have made the opponent that I believe we should be teaching. We have the English heritage. We can read documents we've studied and coordinate ourselves and don't look at the enemy that big. And my job is to make sure that we have proper perspective. I'm not saying we look down on others, but I know who you are. Just from interacting with you within 30 minutes, I'm like, nah, this man is value. So I'm not trying to say others are low, but let's put everything in its context. All five fingers are not equal. Yes. I believe with all my heart, you are a rare gem in Uganda. Mm-hmm. I believe that. Mm-hmm. So now, you said something about constitution.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I will rather go with institutions, but it's the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Or it works together. They work together. Let me put it that way.
Absolutely. Yeah.
They're not the same, but they work together. So mm-hmm. Now, Mr. William, mm-hmm. talk about constitution and your perspective on leadership in Uganda. In Uganda, I felt a burning desire in your heart about this mm-hmm. issue.
Mm-hmm. In Uganda, we don't understand the constitution, and for me, I think that's where the problem is. Because even when I asked Bobi Wine, he didn't show me any signs of him understanding and appreciating the constitution. And I'll show you an example. The constitution is about the rules of the game. And what is the game? It's the game of power. It's the game of power. Okay. So the constitution is about how we share the power. You know, in a pack of playing cards, I misplaced my joker. We have a joker and we also have a masters.
Yeah.
But they have different values. Mm-hmm. The way the cards are designed, they are designed in such a way to share power. So it is with the constitution. Which power? People power. So now that is the ABC. The XYZ would be the separation of power into three equal branches, the judicial, executive, and the mm-hmm. legislative. Yes. Now, that those basic things were never understood, even though they sound so basic the way I'm explaining them. I can guarantee you saw how I asked the question?
Yes.
He could not come up with a basic, simple answer. There was no simplicity. There was no specificity. Yeah. There was no sensitivity.
Yeah. So, and this is what I'll say. Mm-hmm. You know, there are people who are trailblazers mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. in this world. Mm-hmm. That is, and we have seen this across time. If you look at 2,000 years of human history, there are people that just their job is to spark that change. People like Socrates, they were not supposed to become politicians, but they were supposed to make the politicians think.
Absolutely.
Okay. So if you look at different strengths that people have within a society, mm-hmm. Bobi Wine mm-hmm. is a trailblazer.
Yes, he is.
His job is to spark our thinking. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, something is wrong here. We have to do things different.
Yes. Uh-huh. I like that.
Yeah. And while he is doing that, now, it is the responsibility of maybe people like you that come in and say, okay, once he creates that spark, you say, this is the structure that holds this spark. This is the new thing now.
Man, you are killing me.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'll let you talk.
First of all, I must give you credit for how to ask. It takes a smart person to ask a smart question. Because a smart question entails forming a logic and then forming a premise around a logic and creating a conclusion within the question. So I give you one more opportunity, and then I answer your question as I develop the picture, a very simple picture. Say the question again, please.
Yeah. So I see Bobi Wine as that
a spark.
That spark.
Yes.
Yeah, we were in Boston because of that
yes.
spark.
Yes.
Now, how do people like you
okay.
come with that structure and have that structure in place once that spark is created? So, yeah.
Okay. That brings me back to this Jeep. Just enough engine power. So what happens in the engine? A spark.
Yeah.
Around a spark, we must create a structure that helps the spark to be translated into people power. And in the Jeep, that structure would be the piston, which does
Yeah.
Does it make sense?
Yes.
And once it does this, for instance, if you have two political parties, today one is up, tomorrow the same party is down. So how do we create that structure to hold the engine together, that when this powerful party is up, it is going to be down, and the one which has been down, now it goes up. Because if you don't hold that power which pushes things up and down together, you won't have an engine. So the assembly must be tight enough to hold the spark and the combustion that comes after the spark has been released. And this is what is missing.
Powerful. So if I understand better, what you're saying is, I recognize the spark.
Yes.
We all agree that we see the spark.
Absolutely, yes.
So what you're saying, in order for this spark to continue, we need to have these other structures.
Yes, absolutely. Because if we do not have these structures, the spark will disappear in thin air. So we must contain the spark in an enclosed space. That is the constitution, those are the institutions. Otherwise, the spark keeps becoming a one strong man, and when it burns out, it dies out like a candle.
Exactly. So
and then we go back to darkness.
Yeah. So with that, based on where we are going, because I see a lot happening in the atmosphere. I see a wind of change across Africa, a new form of leadership, a new way of looking at the world, a new way of interpreting past events. Based on the current dispensation we find ourselves in, not being victims, but victors, people that can stand strong and say, this is what happened. We are not responsible for what happened, but we are responsible to build the future. We are responsible to fix the problem. Now, how important, Mr. William, is constitutional thinking, institutional thinking for modern leadership in Africa?
Very important. And we must think about it in a transitive way. We cannot afford to be stagnated in the past, colonial history, because when we choose to go that path of colonial history, our thinking is going to become colonial. So now, with the modern thinking, how do we interpret the colonial history in such a way that we are able to apply it in modern ways? That is where the problem is. So it must be, we must find that gear. You see, when you get into your car, if it's an automatic car, usually the car rests in a park in P. So for you to drive that car, you must shift it past reverse, past neutral to drive.
Yes.
So P is for past, drive is to take us forward.
Okay.
So how do we, because the past colonial stay in parking all the time. So we must find new ways of how to make this car move in a modern way. Same history, same people, but a new perspective, a new look at the history. Otherwise, what we are doing right now is to have the same old way of interpreting the history. So what is that? You remember what I talked about, photocopy and critical thinking?
Yes.
It's not a matter of just producing the constitution, but it's a matter of us thinking critically, how can it be applied to solve the problems of the present? Because it was designed in history, but not necessarily for the modern problems.
One of the challenges that we face in our community, but I don't see that in your community, is the mindset that those in the past know better than those living. That means the past is better than the future. So whatever we will do has been done before. And it's a small minority of people. So I want you, as I feel like you guys have overcome that in your community. From you, I can tell that that kind of thinking doesn't exist. Like you believe that something better can happen. Just like you're saying, we have to put it to drive because we have to go somewhere better than the past.
Yes,
So,
yes.
how can you help someone struggling with that kind of thinking? That something that happened in the past or someone in the past knew better. Like we have Zoom today. There was no Zoom in the 1960s.
Yes, yes.
We have TikTok. We have WhatsApp. So if someone is struggling, we have Bobi Wine today. Maybe the first musician to become a politician at this level in the history of Uganda. So this is evolution.
Okay.
So how can you help someone struggling with that kind of thinking? What will you say to them?
I'll use simple pictures. You have a Jeep, you told me, right?
Yes.
Is it automatic or is it conventional?
It's conventional. Yeah, I think it's automatic. It's automatic. Yes.
Okay. But do you know how to go back to the conventional in your Jeep?
No. No. There you go.
So before the automatic transmission,
Okay.
we had this Jeep with the stick. I forget the name, where you would have to stick shift.
Yes.
Is it called?
Yes, the stick shift model. Yeah.
The stick shift model. So you would have to figure out when to shift the gears, right?
Yes.
Right now we have a modern Jeep. Let me change the picture so they don't look the same. A modern Jeep where you don't even see that stick anymore.
Yes. Yes.
You just push it to drive and then it goes.
Yes.
But do you know that this old Jeep with a stiff stick is still the same here? All they did was to put a cover, but it's still the same. If you know,
Can you explain a little bit?
the principle of transmission is still the same.
Yes.
But it has a new variation of transmission.
So that is upgrade.
Upgrade. So there is the basics of the lever, which is load, fulcrum, and what else? Load and energy and
Yes.
power. Load, fulcrum, which is the wheel or the spinning, whatever, and energy. Yes, it is still the same principle, but now it has been upgraded.
Yes.
So now the question is, how do you convince this guy that, you know what, even though it is an automatic transmission, it is still the same old Jeep you used to drive? That's where the problem is.
Wow. Okay. Now, I like the way this conversation is going, but let's do it this way now. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How do we show someone this new Jeep?
Mm-hmm.
So that takes us back to the initial conversation of turning that 600 page to a picture. How do we take someone who is looking at the future this way, that the past is better than the present or better than the future? Or they will say, oh, what you're doing, some people in the past have done that. How do you take someone that is looking at life that way to showing them that picture? So you see, we have left now, because they will have to look at the Constitution the same. They will have to look at that new Jeep or the upgrade, that this version is better than what they had in the past. And they will have to also align with this new way of communicating, which is your strength, like communication, making it simple for everyone to understand. So how do we take everything back to you seeing it this way?
Alphabets. When you were in kindergarten, which alphabet did you start with?
A B C.
ABC.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
ABC are the basics of alphabets.
Oh my God.
What are the sophisticated basics? What are the sophisticated alphabets? XYZ.
Yes.
The modern population, the young people today, because of the technology, they are more focused on the XYZ. But when you ask them, what is the ABC, they can't take off. The old people are more familiar with the ABC. When you ask them about the XYZ, they can't take off. Example, if I bring a phone, we used to have this type of phones, okay?
Yes.
And we used to have this type of phones.
Yes.
Now, but if I take this phone to my grandma, she won't know how to operate it.
Oh my God.
But it's still the same phone in terms of the basics. So before we even have an argument, let's first go to back to the ABCs. Once we know our ABCs, now you can teach me about any other alphabet all the way to XYZ.
Oh my God. This is so good. Now, application.
Okay.
What I just heard you say, it's exactly what I am working on with my people. It's like, okay, this was the initial document
Yes.
issued in 1961.
Yes.
This is what was supposed to be done in 1961. Basics.
Yes.
This is what was done. This is what was not done.
Yes.
We are in pain today.
Yes.
Because of what was not done.
Yes.
So that is the ABC. If we don't see this ABC correct, everything else that we will build, the X, Y, Z will be a problem.
Will be a problem. And for me, I would go a little bit further. I would say X, Y, Z. Okay. I would say, what were the ABCs that were done? What were the ABCs that were left undone? So 2 buckets. And then I go to this. What were the XYZ that were done? What were the XYZ that were left undone?
Yeah.
How can we find a common page between these 4? Because now we have 4.
Yeah. Because Mr. William, like the Umbrella Project in the 1950s and 1960s by the United Nations was decolonization. That was in Africa, was in other parts of Asia and the Caribbean and different parts of the world. So decolonization was the Umbrella Project.
Yes.
So in the process of self-determination,
yes,
or decolonization,
yes,
we had plebiscite, which was preference. You choose to join Nigeria or choose to join the Republic of Cameroon.
right.
So if there is anything that is left in that process undone, then the decolonization is incomplete. So that means the process was incomplete. So my goal is to get my people to see that foundation. So if we are all seeing an incomplete process here, then we will start asking the questions, how do we complete a process like this that was left undone? And that goes back with what was done and what was not done. Like the plebiscite was done. It was acknowledged by the United Nations. The resolution that was issued that would have been adopted.
Allow me to interrupt you because before I forget the point.
Yes, go ahead.
You know the question you are asking is very important. There's what we call a culture lens. Let me define it. When a bird hatches from the egg in a nest, the first time it's going to see the world is through that tiny hole of the nest. And that becomes its culture lens. And if that bird is lucky, as it flies around, it will keep recalibrating the culture lens. Now, when these documents were formed, they were formed with a foreign culture lens.
Yes.
Not necessarily a domestic culture lens.
Yes.
Because they were written in foreign language.
Yes.
So now, the question is, okay, what is the meaning of this document if that was written in with a foreign culture lens? What is the meaning of it in our present domestic lens?
Powerful.
Because if you don't find that, whatever you see through that culture lens will, if you were domestic, will always remain foreign, and you won't be able even to develop an identity, a national identity. Because we must form a national identity by way of thinking. That picture must log into our brains, so that we become patriotic. If it becomes a goal image, if it's not there, I have nothing to fight for. I cannot become patriotic.
Patriotic. Yeah, that is why I call myself a patriot. But one thing that you just said that caught my attention. Because if we live in our own bubble, we have brilliant, smart African people like yourself. Visiting other communities.
Right.
And like yours. And interacting with the people, not just the leaders. It helps us to come out of our own bubble. Because we can be in Uganda or in Nigeria or in Ghana. We have our communities. And we only in ourselves. Now, when you get to hear what others are saying in other communities, now, sometimes it helps you understand that you are not crazy in your own community. If that makes sense. So,
it does.
My point is, this is going to be probably a new model.
Yes.
That we go past saying Africans work with Africans.
Yes,
but
absolutely.
Africans, we have to start thinking with other Africans.
Yes.
That's foundation. Let's start there first. Because what I see in the 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th century in Europe was that they created thinkers.
Right.
And the ideas of those thinkers influenced politicians.
Yes.
And then the revolution came.
Yeah.
So what is your take on that perspective? On we have to start thinking with each other.
Okay. I'm glad you are coming to that view. Caution. As we recognize these thinkers, let's remember that the dictators back home are always taking out these thinkers because they want the darkness to remain dark. Okay, number one. Number two, let's also remember that we have an opportunity in this land to think, and nobody is going to kill you for thinking.
Yes. Yeah. Nobody will kill you for thinking.
Nobody will kill you for thinking. In
Yes.
Africa, if they find a bright young man like you, boom. And now we go back to the darkness. So now here is the slogan. Teamwork makes the dream work.
Oh,
let's form a team. Cameroon, Ugandans. I'm ready to come and visit you, learn from you. Like they say, once a teacher, by your students, you always be taught.
Yes.
Today, I might be a professor, but I can always learn from you. Tomorrow, you are the professor, and I'm the student. I can learn from you. Let's keep on exchanging ideas so that we can, as we open the door, we must ensure that in the hinge of the door, we create less heat as the door opens to create more light.
Yeah. So I think this is one thing that was missing in the revolutions that happened in Africa.
Yes.
Thinkers were not created.
They were not. And in my humble opinion, I think the reason why they were not created, they were not thinking in their local domestic languages. They were thinking in a foreign language.
Powerful.
It's hard to draw pictures in a foreign language.
Yeah. So with that, what would be a practical step if someone is watching this and they want to apply these concepts? Let's start with the picture. How do they apply that so that we can all see the same thing? So let's do some application.
Application?
Yes.
I have a book.
Do we all see the same thing?
I have a book.
Yes.
And this book is a hymnal, is a hymn book. There are almost 1,000 books in this hymn book. So the application is, and the title of the book is, sorry, this is not supposed to be here. The title of the book is Ancient and Modern Hymns.
Yes.
When we go to church, you don't sing the whole hymn book at once.
Yep.
So the application is to turn to, let's say, this is why I sent you what I sent you. Hymn 165. And you start reading. Let's say verse 5, which says, time like an ever-rolling stream bears all its sons away. They fly forgotten in a dream, dies at the opening of the day. Let's work together as a team to get on the same page.
Yes.
That's the application.
Yes.
You bring your idea, we find how to put it into application by thinking. By doing this, we are going to create a team of thinkers and a team of those who know how to put the thinking in application so we can get a Jeep, just enough engine power to create change.
Yes. Powerful. So with that, okay, this is good. This is really good. Okay. Now, the first step is that we all have a hymn book. If I go to church right now, everyone has that.
Yes.
So with that, if we say turn to hymn 130, everybody turns there.
Yes.
So all look at the same thing, so we can hear the music.
Yes. This is why music is so powerful, because it is capable of bringing people on the same page so they can sing the same battle hymn.
But
This is
if
how
people come in with their own hymn book, we'll have problems.
we have problems.
Now, another application. Now, because we all see this hymn book, now we can now create a constitution around how music should be sung now in that church.
Exactly. We can adapt the music to the context of our community. Let me say it again.
Yes.
If the music is Western music and we are able to get on the same page of the Western music, now we are reading the same thing. And now we can find adaptations of Western music in the African context.
Powerful.
And that is, I would recommend that you read this book.
Okay.
Okay.
What is the title of the book?
Made to Stick by Heath and Heath.
You send me a picture of that. I would like to look it up.
Sure.
Yeah. I'm a book lover myself, so. Okay.
Now, and then the other book I would recommend, before we forget, is this one, Start with a Why. Have you read this one?
Yes, I think Simon Sinek.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, Simon Sinek. I've read that one. Now, if you want to apply communication in everything, how do you apply basic communication principles for comprehension? I know you talked about applying everything in a context. One thing I find fascinating about your community is, I wish we had that. You speak English. We were talking about language, remember? You speak English, and also you guys have a native language. That it's like predominantly the people in your community understand that language, which is amazing. We do not have that. So that means we have more than 100 language. Like if you talk about Cameroon, it's about 150. Talk about Southern Cameroon, it's maybe 100. So 100 native languages. I find that fascinating. I admire that from your community. Like you guys can speak and then you switch it and you guys are still talking. If speaking and I switch it, maybe I've lost maybe 80% of the people. And that is not healthy. So when you're talking about, then again, we are talking about French and English because the Republic of Cameroon, they speak French. So communication is a problem from the foundation. Now, how do we apply communication strategy in that context? Excellent
question. Like I said, it takes a smart person to frame a smart question. Let's find a tune, and I mean music. Put words to it. Try to translate it. And then when I look at your tune in your words, let me try to translate the same tune in my words. And now we can sing two languages, same tune, and the music is on the same page, all synchronized and syncopated.
So in that context, the tune is important.
It is.
So the tune now minimizes the language.
It acts as a bridge between these two languages. And it brings us to the same page in the hymn book. You see, in a hymn book, the lyrics can have different tunes. Same lyrics, same set of lyrics, but different tunes. And it can also be the vice versa. where we have a same tune, different lyrics. But watch this. One of those two must work as a bridge between, and it still makes music.
Wow, that's amazing. We've had a great conversation, Mr. William. As we wrap this up, what will be your message to Africans as the way forward, given our long history? What will be your take on that?
Let's go back to the basics. So the theory, application. The theory is, let's go back to the basics. So how do we apply that theory? If Africa, it's as simple as you going through the night. Let's assume that when you go through the night, when you wake up, you see light. Africa needs to wake up from the night so it can see the light. So how do we use the theory of basics? So when we think of the basics, let's think of the basics in the dark age, how much pain they have caused us, how much darkness they have caused us, and what is the opposite of that in terms of light. You see how I'm creating critical thinking now?
Yes.
Let's not get stuck in one way of thinking.
Oh my God.
Let's think in opposites, just like day and night.
Yes. Powerful.
That's how we discover light.
Yes, that is how light is discovered, obviously.
It is one thing to see light with your eyes. It's completely another to see light with your mind eyes.
That is so good. That is so good. And that is a good place to end this conversation.
Absolutely.
I mean, I would love us to have this more often. Again, you're a brilliant man, Mr. William. You say
Thank
William,
you.
but I like to call
Yeah.
Mr.
No problem.
Yes.
So what are you going to do with this? Are you going to put it on YouTube? I'd like to share this with my people too.
Yes, I'll upload it on YouTube.
Excellent.
Yes,
I don't mind even if you get money out of it. I don't care as long as it helps fellow Africans.
Yes. My goal is to help my people move past this dogma.
Yeah. Same here.
My goal is to help fellow Africans network with each other.
Absolutely.
We start thinking and pouring into each other. Like, what did we live with after this conversation? How can we apply it in one area in our community and help our people move forward?
Absolutely.
That is my goal with this.
Excellent.
Money is the least of my concern. I believe that when you have the heart of service, you don't have to ever worry about money.
Absolutely. Same here.
Yes.
Same here. Allow me to just say this story and I'll end here. Okay.
Yes.
The way I discovered never to go for money, this is the story. I was around 2021. I remember this special day when I was alone in the church. I was preparing to play hymns the next day, which would be Sunday. But I was on an empty stomach because I had lost a job. And the church could not pay me for playing music. And here I am playing two keyboards, an organ with one manual set of manual here for the left hand, another set of manual for the right hand. But I also had what they call a pedal board. Now those are lots of calories to be used in the brain and play music. I bursted into tears. And I heard a voice telling me, don't stop playing music because of hunger. When nobody can stop your talent from growing, it will be only you to stop your talent from growing if you focus on the money.
Yeah. Yeah.
So just keep doing the right thing. Don't looking for the money or the right money. Just keep doing the right thing. The money comes afterwards.
Amen. Amazing. I'm already in church. Perhaps say amen. Mr. William, it was nice talking with you.
Nice talking with you too.
I got a lot out of these interviews, like just talking with you and hear you pour out your mind. I mean, I wish Africans get it. I wish our people get it, so that we should go past these little struggles of the ABCs and make progress. So
Absolutely.
we can keep talking from time to time on phone, Mr. William.
Sure.
Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you. You as well.
Okay, bye for now.
Bye-bye.